Mars, and then I felt like I was watching another alternate version of Heroes, and I would kind of be disappointed by the ending. Heroes really screwed that up.
Well, you can be disappointed in Heroes again because it's coming back.
I'm watching it. I don't know why they're bringing it back.
Well, they're bringing back all the people that made season 1, which was the best season. So, I'll give it a try.
I thought the people that made season 1 were still work on season 2, though.
No, the writers, everyone went on strike. There was the writer strike for season 2, so they brought in a bunch of other people. So the season 2 sucked because all the people that worked on season 1 weren't working on it anymore because it was the writer strike. Anyway, we're live, I think. Hello, everyone that's not watching. All the people.
Yeah, we can't talk about stuff like that, I guess. I might have to pay for it.
I think it's fine to talk about it.
Right. Okay.
Am I actually live? What's going on here with this thing? I am live. There I am. My beautiful face. I need to log in over here so I can chat. Oh, I guess I don't. I can chat right here. All right, well, hi everyone. I'm David. Today I'm going to be working on our game Furious, our game, I can't even talk. I've never done this in a while, so I'm out of practice. I'm working on our game, which is called We Slay Monsters, not Furiously Inactive Games. Furiously Inactive Games is the name of our company. So, today I'm going to spend maybe an hour and a half adding some monsters to our game. We're almost done with the monsters. There's about 7 or 8 monsters that still need to be added to the game. And then we're done with the monsters that will be there when we launch. So I'm going to start with this goblin dude who likes to throw bombs. So we'll start with him. Alright, so he's going to be a fantasy monster. So pretty much I'm just going to cut and paste a different monster to get started with this guy. Goblin is French for goblin. It's not. I don't know what it is. For some reason, whenever I typed the word goblin, I always add an E to it. Okay, so that's the basics of the monster. So we basically got a template here for the goblin. So now I need to do a couple of things to get him into the game. So this is our basically our monster factory that keeps track of all of the monsters in the game. And monsters are unlocked over time with points. So as the player accumulates certain point levels, they unlock new monsters that are harder and harder. So I'm not really sure where this guy fits yet in the difficulty scale. I'm going to kind of put him right here around pirates. I think that's probably about right. So right now we'll require 2,100 points to unlock the goblin. Alright, so that's good. So now I need to grab the art for the goblin. We use Dropbox to share all of our art assets between our artist and us. So there's the sprites for the goblin. So we will get this guy copied over to our local game folder. Now every monster has two versions of it. Essentially there's a regular version and a boss version. So any monster in the game can also be a boss, but when they're a boss they have a different skin. Essentially it's the same monster with a different, so you can see this, instead of a green goblin it's a red goblin. So I need to grab those guys and put it in the bosses folder. And I also just realized I forgot the character sheet version for the goblin. I need to go back and grab that. The character sheet is when you can right click on a monster to get more information and you see a nice big picture of it. So there's our goblin character sheet. Alright, so now let Unity recognize all that stuff. Now we're going to add those. We're using Toolkit 2D for all of our 2D assets in the game. So we basically need to add that guy to our sprite sheet. So first we'll start with the small version. So there's the mini boss. And then there's the regular version. Toolkit 2D, and then it's going to rebuild our sprite sheet. Toolkit 2D does a pretty good job at managing the sprite sheets and letting us have two different qualities of sprites. You can have a low res and a high res version. If you're playing the game on a very large monitor, you basically get the high res images. If you're playing it on a smaller screen, you get the low res images. Alright, it's still thinking. Alright, so that's done. So now I think that's all we need to get the monster in the game. Let's see here. Right now he won't do anything. He doesn't throw any bombs or do anything interesting. I'm going to go ahead and start a new game here. Well, that's messed up. See, so I already broke something. What is going on here? Well, something broke. I'm going to save that stack trace for later. And then we'll look at that what happened later, because it's not important. I mean, it is important, but not important for what we're trying to do right now. You know what, let me turn off these music and whatnot. I'll leave the sound effects on. Okay. Nope. Oh. Alright, so something is broken. So clearly I didn't add it in all the right places. Oh, right. Did forget to add it in their place. Let me make sure that matches up. Yep. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? Not sure what's going on here with Unity. It's freaking out. This is a debug console that I found out there. It's very handy. I would suggest if you're working on game development in Unity that you grab it and implement it in your game. Basically, it's a cheat menu. So it's like a Quake console, if you ever played Quake back in the day, but you can basically implement a set of commands. So this allows me to spawn a particular monster, just so I can test it. So there's our goblin. So that did not work. Right. Because I forgot to add them to that other... I only added them to the dungeon character sheet, not the... There's two sprite sheets, one for the dungeon and one for the UI when you look at monsters. So let's add that guy there. So here's the character sheet. Other character sheet. Give that a minute to bake. Still thinking, still thinking. Any minute now, it's going to be done thinking. This button will pop up and we'll all rejoice at how exciting it is when something finishes. Think it's almost done? Come on! This is the fun part of game dev. Lots and lots of waiting. You'll play your game 1 billion times and you'll wait a lot. It's the exciting part of game dev. So there's our goblin still. And there's our large picture of him. Beautiful. So now we need to make the goblin interesting and unique. So right now, if I do nothing, he's still a monster. He'll still attack me. He'll still have his regular monster AI, but he won't do anything interesting. So let's give him some interesting stuff. So if we look at our project, monsters can have abilities. So I'm looking for something that has a similar ability. This is sort of a ranged attack. He's going to throw a bomb, which is like a ranged attack, but it's a little different because most ranged attacks sorry, lost my train of thought. Most range attacks directly attack a player. So the way the goblin's going to work is he's going to throw a bomb, and he'll try to throw it at the player, but if he's not around, the goblin's just going to throw random bombs around because he likes to. So what is that like? It's kind of like burping. It's kind of like burping in that when a monster burps, he'll try to burp at you. If not, he'll just burp in a random square. So, you know what? I'm just going to create a new so that's going to be an activated ability. How often should he throw a bomb? Let's say every 5 turns he'll throw a bomb. So adjective is when it describes the name of a monster, it'll build up a string. So it'll be a something something bombing something. Now those things aren't used. All right, so basically activated abilities. get this do can use ability, which is in the defined in the base monster ability. So do can use. So the default is that the monster can always use the ability. So it says has my number of turns elapsed since the last time I used it. In this term, we said it was 5. Every 5 turns, the monster can use this ability. If so, are there any other criteria that I should use? So it allows the ability itself to decide if there's any other criteria to decide whether to throw a bomb.
Mad.
So this guy, he's just going to throw bombs every 5 turns, regardless of whether there's someone around or not. So all I really need to do is implement this do activate method. All right. So do activate is going to be pretty straightforward. First, he's going to see all monsters have what's called a hate target, which is the thing they hate the most. So they can hate the player. There are some circumstances when a monster can hate another monster. They might hate the player's pet. In any event, if the goblin has a hate target defined, he's going to try to throw the bomb at the hate target. If it's in bomb throwing range. So really what it should probably do is it should go through the whole list of hate targets, and the first one in the list that is in range, it should try to throw it. If it can't find any at range, it'll just pick a random square somewhere within its area of range and throw it. So let's see how far the bomb... Players can also have bombs. So players start with a 3 range. So what do you think? So the bomb ability for players is it's either 3, 4, or 5 map squares radius.
Mm-hmm.
Should higher level monsters have a higher level radius that they can throw? Or should it just always be like...
Just damage? Or...
Yes, I mean, the damage should be higher, and should the range be higher also? Or both?
The range of the explosion or the range...
The range of
where
they can throw it.
They can throw it. And I could make a goblin really hard if they spawn at level 10 or something, right?
Yeah. And then I'm also going to make them so they run away from the player. Right?
That will make them difficult.
And evil and fun.
Yeah. Yeah, more range is better. So you get a level 1 goblin. That'd be hilarious. Level 1 goblins don't throw very far, so they might close themselves off.
Yeah, so the other thing I was thinking is, should the goblins be smart? Like, the players are smart enough to avoid their own bombs. Should the goblins be smart enough to avoid their own bombs? They're just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
They throw bombs everywhere and they don't care if they walk on them. That might be hilarious.
Yeah.
That's actually easier to implement. Okay, so... Alright, so Monster has a hate list. Well, that's okay. Hate list memory. Alright, so this weighted hate list is the sorted list of monsters. So that's what I want. So I need to grab it from the monster short-term memories. Make sure that the monster will always have, yes, the monster will always have, ooh, that's not true. So if there's no, okay. Alright, so basically we want to Alright, so now we're going to go through this list and check to see alright, so one thing we're going to do for sure is this may or may not happen. So we're going to say maybe throw the bomb at the hate target. This may or may not happen. So if this doesn't happen, we're going to throw a And then okay. So that looks pretty good. Simplify this a little bit.
And I think it was logging the action points before and after. Now it's not anymore. Now all I do is restart.
Yeah, I removed it. So I don't know why it was. I don't know. Have you updated your stuff? Yeah.
Unless,
No. So I think it's. Yeah. It's a bug. It's not a bug. Look at Hero. Look at the constructor for Hero. There's two constructors.
okay.
So I'll be right back. At the first constructor, there's a thing that sets watched equal to true. If you haven't updated, so add that to the second constructor, because the second constructor is the one that calls when it's loaded from.
From 8.
Okay, I'm back. So now it should show your action points. Alrighty, so
Oh, that was weird. Control S instead of Command S.
okay, so this is ultimately what we're going to call the throw a bomb at a particular map square, which really is just going to spawn an animation. Okay.
I don't really have to run a new game because I also did some other debug and it's only doing that debug once instead of twice. Yep.
Okay, hate target can be any kind of being. It can be the hero or another monster. So basically we're going to say, go through the hate list, find the first monster that is in range. So we need to add a range here. So if it's within range, then do that and we're done. Alright, so let's see what... Alright, well, I like that. Alright, so let's do our throw bomb at. So let's look at what the player does. I think it ultimately just drops an animation.
Mm-hmm. Found it. Okay. So hero turn start. Sets
I'll be back.
Hero turn starts. Sets current value to 1, and then here when it, after action performed and it's 0, then it's adjusts value back to max. So it seems to be doing it twice.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't doing it twice. I didn't really look into it at all. So if it's not, it may not actually be causing any problems.
Now, old value is stat action points is 0, new value is stat action points is 0.
That's weird.
But this is happening after. So, hero turnover. So this is, I moved, it was 1, now it's 0. And then after my turn is over, and it's 0, it was 0, now it's 0. But you still get 1 point from hero turn start.
Huh. Yeah, so that adjust, I guess it's the adjust to max. Doesn't actually need to happen because the max is 0?
What is this? So max value minus current value. So I want to say max value is probably
It's got to be
1,
0. Or maybe.
and then current value is 1,
I don't know.
and it's adjusting to 0.
It's possible. No one knows. No one knows. Okay. So I've got it.
So maybe max value is 0, it's adjusting it to 0, and then we're adding 1.
That sounds terrible.
So I'm going to take out that adjust to max value.
Sure.
Or set max value to 1. Seems more dangerous. And then take out the current value equals 1.
It could be that. So I'm going to take a momentary side trip here to help Nick out. I mean, the weird thing is it should have a max value of 1 because it's created in the constructor of the hero with. It's a simple. I don't know what a simple attribute is. Simple attributes have no max. They just have a value.
All right.
The max is always the same as the value, like defense or gold. So yeah, you just take out. I think if you take out that adjust to max, it'll totally be fine. It probably wasn't ever hurting anything. It just seemed odd.
No, there's a lot of extra stuff. Well, not a lot, but there is extra stuff going on. 0 to 0.
Oh. So this is not going to work. Okay, so sorry, I'm looking at the animation that fires. Right now, the only heroes can throw bombs, so the animation is set up to assume that the hero is throwing the bomb. So, obviously that is not going to work. But I think with some pretty easy adjustments, it'll work. We can make that work. Okay. So let me do that real quick, and then I think we're about ready to give this a test. So what we need to do is add a
weird. 'Cause Mary's computer's fan got louder when I started my game, so I was like,
That's funny. All right, so bags start. All right, so now it does a check to say okay. So now it says, if I've provided an origin, use it. If I haven't, then assume that the hero is throwing the bomb. So then I need to change my bomb throw ability to just say monster.map square. So the origin is the monster, the destination is the map square where the hate target is, and it's a monster animation. So finally, we will give the goblin the ability to throw bombs, and then let's go see how much is broken. Probably none of this will work. Alright, sorry. I was waiting for it to compile, and it was compiled, and I just was oblivious. Let me kill this other goblin real quick here. So it worked, but something blew up. So what blew up? Line 68. Said again, more stuff that assumed there would be a bomb item. What does that actually do in the bomb item? Right, it removes the item. Bombs are one-time use for heroes. So this, in the case of it being a thing that the hero had thrown, it removes that bomb from the hero's inventory. In our case, there is no bomb item. So the other thing I need to do is make that make him timid. Timid things try to move away from the player. Alright, let's give this a try now. I need to kill this guy real quick. Sure. That was cool. That's pretty good. I don't understand this AI. Did you change the timid AI?
I thought I was going to, and I thought I didn't. Maybe I did.
The explosion that the dude does at level 1 is not very powerful. It's kind of cool though. I need to make the explosion animation not suck so much. It's got like this long pause at the end of the animation. Better heal up.
I think we kind of use it from the public source actually. It's a better system.
Alright. I think that looks pretty good. I may actually tweak that animation a little. Let's see. So what is it doing? It's throwing the thing. This is the thing, the bomb environmental effect is the thing that actually causes it to explode. Let's just try tweaking that to like something less. See how that looks. How's everyone out there doing today? You having a good Sunday? That looks a little better. I'll have to take a look at the AI. It's just weird. Every once in a while, he takes a step toward the player when he's trying to avoid him. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Ray, we need another icon.
Ah, you're fired. What do you need?
For monsters that can throw bombs, we need a bomb, for monster abilities.
Okay.
There's a bomb player icon, the round ones, but there isn't one that's for monsters. Luckily, you can probably just use one that. I was like, hey, someone chatted with me, but it was you. You're a nerd.
You're welcome. Alright. Are we going to finish there we already had? Want to go from that list there?
I mean, we might. I
Did
just.
you?
I don't think we do.
Fine.
So that would be a good one to get today, since I'm trying to work on that guy.
Okay.
It's funny. This guy, this animation was copied from a different animation, so it has a bunch of names that don't make any sense, like bag. I'm not sure why that should even be 0.5. The this is basically using Hot Tween to scale and move the bomb, and then it was waiting a whole extra second, or a whole extra half a second after the movement had taken place. I'm not sure why. No one knows, even though I coded all this stuff. Oh, it's better. All right, so that's all looking pretty good. Should the goblins should probably also be cowardly too, right? So they run away when they're low health. So they're pretty much like archers with bombs.
Is there a situation where they're not running away? They're always moving? I guess.
Yeah, basically timid
Throwing
means
bombs, right.
they try to stay just out of your range.
Mm-hmm. And then.
Cowardly always run away. Like that's when they're about to die, so they just run to the closest group of monsters, and they don't stop when they're a certain amount away from you. That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Elf archers are also timid and cowardly. Cowardly. All right, so I think we can call this guy just about done. I'm going to grab the sound effects for our goblin. All right, let's get those sound effects added and see how they look, see how they sound. All right, so this is goblin. Ah. All of our sounds are in at, we put them in at 0.8, 80% of their actual volume. That way, if you have them at 100% volume, you can never make them louder. So that should actually be all we need to do to add the sound effects. So let's see what that looks like. Sounds terrible.
Central Arc. It's actually really good. It's cold brewed coffee that's somehow made with blueberries and orange juice.
I'm not a huge fan of cold brewed coffee. Sounds gross.
It's good.
All right, now we've got our sound effects in. This would probably be a good point to commit our code, since we've got a bunch of changes. I win. Nick and I were having a commit battle. Now he has to rebase his stuff. He probably already did anyway, because I already checked in a bunch of stuff. All right, well, I planned on streaming for about an hour, and our audience is massive, so I hate to disappoint all one of you.
Ray.
No, there's actually two, so I wasn't counting you. There's one besides Ray.
No.
Oh, and me. We have nobody watching right now. Awesome. So, on that note, we're going to go ahead and stop for the day, since I'm talking to myself. Maybe some people will watch this on the rebound, and we'll put this on our YouTube channel like we always do. So, thanks for everyone that stopped by, and we will be back some other time.